Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily, and right now it's time for us to get in a conversation. And this conversation is actually very important, and you might want to sit and enjoy this because it's all about our environment, saving our environment. As the issues of climate change keep coming up, what do we do? Or how do we help or come together to, contribute to a better environment? Joining us in the studio is Emma Ba Ejapon, who is the Director of Environment and Agroforestry Foundation. And we are going to have a little chit-chat on Restore Local. Restore Local. You are welcome.
Thank you, madam.
How is everything?
Everything is fine.
All right. Restore Local. What is Restore Local?
Thank you so much. Restore Local is a flagship program which is a contributor to AFR 100 projects, which aims to restore 100 hectares degraded lands across Africa, 1,000 hectares, sorry. And in Ghana, our target is to restore 2 million degraded lands in Ghana.
Right.
So the main aim is to restore degraded lands.
Right.
Yes, please.
All right. And how important is restoring degraded land to us? That's land restoration. Yeah. How important is land restoration to us right now?
Thank you so much. Looking at the current environmental condition we have, especially in Ghana, we are seeing a lot of erratic rainfall pattern. The dryness, the heat is too much, and the only solution will be to plant trees to absorb this carbon, which is deteriorating the ozone layer, resulting to a lot of heat in the environment. So trees is the only way to combat this climate change. So the main goal is to plant more trees on degraded lands to combat climate change.
Right. How much degraded land do we have in Ghana right now?
Thank you so much. For this particular one, the Forestry Commission will be the best person. I am an NGO supporting in outside forest reserve. Yes.
So do you work together with the Forestry Commission sometimes?
It's a partnership. Wherever we go, we let them know our presence. They even come in to support us. Yes, please, with our project.
So what motivated this project, Restore Local?
Restore Local, their main goal is to restore degraded lands and improve local livelihood. And that is our goal. That's what we've been doing for the past 8 years. So we saw it as an opportunity to join the effort to promote this sustainable land use.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So how has Restore Local actually supported your organization?
Yeah, my organization, which is Environment and Agroforestry Foundation, in short, IF Africa, we are one of the champions. We were fortunate to be one of the champions who benefited from AFR 1 projects, who provided us with funding and training. They give us resources to restore degraded lands. In our project area is the Bono region, Brekum precisely. So they have been so much help. They build our capacity, and we transfer that knowledge to the local communities to when it comes to seedlings raising, planting, and managing the planted areas.
Right,
yes,
right.
Please.
Now, restoring the land seems very interesting. In fact, it seems like it's the right thing to do. Yes. But is it easy? I don't know that. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced trying to restore this land? Thank
you so much for the question. The whole idea is to bring back the vegetation cover, which we've lost through cutting down of trees, either legally or illegally. So it goes through a lot. You have to train people on how to even raise the indigenous species, that the forest trees. So you have to do capacity building training, which all involve funding. And you also need the skills to support in this training as well. And the other thing is that for Restore Local, the most important thing is that they give us resources to even monitor the areas that we restore to ensure sustainability.
Right.
Yes, please.
Right. So do you have the manpower for this? Do you have enough people working on this?
Yes, through Restore Local, we've been able to employ, even last year, we were able to restore 150 hectares of degraded lands, and we employed over 90 local people, youth and women.
Oh, okay.
Yes, through this project.
All right. So what kind of trees are you growing? Is it just any tree?
Yes.
As long as it's a tree?
Thank you so much. When it comes to selection of the trees, we usually team up with the local people to give us their preferences. We include the indigenous species and the the agricultural trees, so that it also provide income, the fruits. They will get income from selling their fruits. We usually prefer, or usually we add the agricultural crops, the trees on degraded farmlands. And we prefer the indigenous species within degraded forest areas and even riparian vegetation where we have degraded water areas. We usually promote or encourage planting indigenous species.
So what are these indigenous species?
Yeah, indigenous species are the trees we have in Ghana that have its origin, like locally we have Odum, Wawa, Emre, and so forth.
Right.
Yes.
And how long does it take these trees to actually grow and say become adult trees? Yeah, because this whole thing is for it to just grow and protect us, right?
Yes.
So how long does it take?
Well, for example, the indigenous takes even some of them over 100 years before it can even reach that maturity where you see it on a timber tree. And that teak takes like 15 years to grow. That time you can cut it for the electricity pole. Yes, and that's why we add the agricultural plants, the cashew and the mango, which fruits we have new species that fruits even within 18 months, like the cashew, so that the farmers can benefit.
Right. So you're talking about the poles. You said when it grows, people now cut it for some of these poles. With where we are heading to right now, especially with everything that is happening with climate change, is it still advisable for them to cut the trees?
Thank you so much. For our projects, our main goal is not to cut the trees. That's why wherever we go, whilst we are planting the trees, we bring in alternative livelihood measures. For example, when we grow the trees, we add, let's say, beehives under the trees, which will also generate income for the communities. That's why we also add the mangoes and the oranges, so that it will get, they also generate income. Aside that, there are also schemes where we do like a small village savings and loan schemes. So the idea is that the farmers should keep the trees. So we are even trying to develop this carbon market credits for the community where they can get this carbon funding. So far as you allow your tree to grow on the land for within like 40-year period, every year you can get carbon credits.
Right.
Yes.
Now, I mean, we have seen so many times here in Ghana, we've talked about tree growing, that even some years ago, even last year, some trees were grown, and I don't know what's happening to them. I don't know if they still exist. They told us some big number of trees have been grown, or some large number of trees have actually been grown here during the Green Ghana campaign.
Green Ghana, yes.
Yes, so we don't know where the trees are. We're still looking for it. Now, how do we ensure that these trees are actually safe? Apart from what you're doing with the farmers, how do we ensure that they will be safe? They will grow. Yes. Somebody will go and water them. How do we ensure all that?
Thank you so much. As for Green Ghana, we cannot talk about it. For our own, what we do is that we usually involve the community from the beginning, train them on even raising the seedlings, caring and managing it within a particular period. And we have this app, Restore Local through AFR project. They've given us an app. We call it Flority app, where you will go to the field, take coordinates, geotag pictures of the areas that you have restored. So these days you cannot lie. Like you can just go and say that we've planted this hectares of land. You go to the field, the thing is not there. With Flority app, you cannot lie because they will see it. They will clean it and see. So we've trained the local people how to use the app.
Okay.
So that every week or within some intervals, they go and pick GPS coordinates of the area where we can monitor from our office, and even our donors too can.
Yeah. Yes. So how can the government or other stakeholders support your work?
Thank you so much. We really need Ghana, the government, in terms of policy formulation. Usually, this project have a lifespan. After the lifespan, if there's no policy to protect the areas, it's like we are doing cost 90 jobs. So we will encourage the government to establish some policy that will protect these newly established areas, especially outside forest reserve areas. And also outside the government, other agencies can come in, like the media, the artists, they can all come in to spread the message of restoration.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much.
You're
it was
welcome.
really nice having you for this conversation. And I want to wish you good luck because it's a really great initiative that you have embarked on. I mean, you are trying definitely to help us save this environment. And I hope you at home will also do the same thing. Try to plant a tree. Try to own a tree. Because where we are heading right now with climate change and everything happening, it could get worse, but we don't pray for the worst. So try in your own way to help the environment. We've been speaking to Emma Ba Echapong, who's the Director of Environment and Agroforestry Foundation, on the issue of land restoration. All right, so we'll be right back. We'll take a quick break. Don't go nowhere.